guys, welcome back. I just wanted to pop in and say hello really quick and let you guys know that I will be doing a video here in the next day or two. I have been really sick, and today is like the first day that I've actually felt decent enough to go out and go to the post office. I've been sending my boys for the last couple of days. It just kind of like hit me. And if you guys remember, right before my mom passed away, I kept mentioning a sister that was going to come up from Florida. Well, she did. She came up, and she's been here ever since, staying with one of her daughters, and she has now decided to go back home to Florida. And so she's going to be going back home to Florida in a couple of weeks, and she came to stay with me for a couple of days so that we could have a visit. And it was right before she got to my place. That's when I started getting sick. So it was kind of like a damper on the visit. I mean, we still had a nice visit, but I could barely talk. So my throat is like raw. But we still had a good visit, but we did cut it short a day. So I did drop her off yesterday, and oh God, I was so tired. I was so out of it that I just came home and I went to bed. I was just exhausted. So today I feel a little bit better, but my throat is still messed up and just really congested at night. You know how it gets worse at night, and in the morning it's just miserable, but I am kind of on the mend, but my throat is still kind of messed up. So I need at least another day or two before I do a video. But somebody reached out to me via email and asked if I would consider doing a reading on Nicola Bulley. And I said absolutely. I didn't really know anything about it at the time, but I did watch Michelle After Dark. I haven't watched any YouTube lately because my sister's been visiting, so I watched Michelle After Dark, a couple of her videos, and then she had a live today talking about Nicola Bulley. And if you're not familiar with the case, definitely look into it. It's very interesting, very mysterious. I can't help but to get an odd feeling about it. I don't think that this is a woman that just happened to fall in the river and drown. It's just very strange, and I'll tell you why I feel like it's strange here in a second. But this is probably the one time that I disagree with Michelle After Dark. Normally, I'm pretty much on board with everything that she says. I love Michelle. I love her person. Everything about Michelle I like. But I do disagree with this particular case. Now, Michelle is adamant that she believes that Nicola was, at this park walking her dog. Her dog's name is Willow. Walking her dog, Willow. Something happened. Maybe she got too close to the edge of the bank and she, slipped and fell in this river. Maybe hit her head on some rock, was unconscious, drowned. That's a possibility. I'm not ruling it out. I'm not saying that absolutely didn't happen. I don't know. But what is odd to me, first of all, I did discover that Nicola was a good swimmer. At first I was like, well, it depends. If somebody doesn't know how to swim, anything's possible, right? But she can swim from what I have read. But it's the person who came upon her phone and her dog Willow. That's where the story gets a little weird to me. So apparently a passerby, I'm assuming just a random person, comes along and they find a phone on the bench and Willow. And the dog Willow was agitated, and I guess her leash was there, her harness was there, but she was agitated. And so this woman, I believe it's a woman, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a woman, takes a random string and ties Willow up, leaves the phone there, and goes home and tells a family member about what she found at the park. She had an appointment. She had to go to an appointment, I guess. But this family member, now I would like to know, what's the connection between the family member and Nicola? Is there a connection? Do they know each other? Are they close to one another? Because this person, about an hour later, so we don't know what happened in that hour, right? We don't know why it took an hour. Did this person have to get dressed? Did they have to get showered? I mean, we don't know, right? So about an hour later, they go to the park and they find the phone. They see Willow, and apparently they recognize the phone, that it's Nicola's. How the hell do you recognize somebody's phone is what I want to know. I mean, think about it. If somebody were to ask you right now, do you think you could identify one of your coworkers' phones if it were just laying randomly on a bench somewhere? Probably not. Unless there's like a, specific case or something like that, or if it has your name on. I don't know. I don't know how you recognize someone's phone by just looking at it on a bench. So that's why I'm curious to know the relationship between this person and Nikola, and how would you recognize somebody's phone? How would you identify a phone? I could see the dog. I could see, but even then you'd have to be around the dog quite a bit, because I don't know, we've been in our house for 15 years, and granted, it's different. Everything is different, right? But our neighbor lady has a dog, and I've seen that dog a million times outside in the summer, but if I seen that dog randomly at a park somewhere, I wouldn't know it. I wouldn't know that dog. I just wouldn't know. So it's like, this has to be somebody close. If they can recognize her phone and her dog, this has got to be somebody who really knows her. And what's the odds of that? What's the odds that they know her? And then, instead of calling 911 or 999 or whatever it is over there in Europe, they ended up calling the school where Nikola's kids go. So again, I don't know anything about this town. Is this a small town? Is there one school? Because right here where I live, there's about 20 primary schools. You wouldn't know what school to call if you were trying to find someone's kids, unless you knew them, of course, right? If you know them, you know what school they go to, maybe. But if I just randomly was like, okay, let me call the school. No, I don't know what school you go to. There's 20 of them on each side of town. So I thought it odd that they would call the school. I just thought that was odd. And then they apparently didn't know the boyfriend. They didn't know Nikola's boyfriend's number, or her husband or fiance. I'm not sure what their relationship is. I don't know. But they didn't know his contact information, so that's why they decided to call the school, I guess. And then I believe the school contacted the boyfriend, Nikola's boyfriend or husband, and then from there, I guess the police were contacted. So my red flags are this person, that person. That's where my red flag sits. I'm like, what are the odds that this random passerby goes home and tells a family member what happened, and this family member, whoever this is, happens to know whose phone it is, happens to know whose dog it is, doesn't know how to contact their boyfriend or husband, but knows what school the kids go to, and instead of calling the police, they call the school. That's odd to me. That is odd. And this has been going on for a couple weeks now. I mean, they've been looking for her for a couple weeks, and they haven't found anything. And I know that's not odd, right? That happens. There's people that go missing in lakes and rivers, and sometimes they're not found for weeks, months. So it's a possibility that they may still find her, but it doesn't look like they've had much luck so far. And we're going on a couple of weeks now, so I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, do you think it's odd that somebody would go to a park and see a phone sitting on a bench and be like, oh yeah, that's such and such's phone? That's weird to me. And why call the school? I'm a little bit weirded out that, maybe not weirded out. I don't know. I mean, if you were to go upon a phone, if you were to come up on a phone and a dog that was agitated, I don't think I could leave. I don't think I could leave the dog, to be honest with you. I think I would have to stay with the dog and call the police. I'd have to stay there. I'd have to call the police and be like, look, something's weird. I don't know what's going on, but I'm here at such and such park, and somebody's phone here is on the bench, and their dog is looking really agitated, and the dog's leash is here and their harness is here, but the owner's not here. What do you want me to do? you know, they may ask you to stay. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's danger in the area. Maybe they won't ask you. I don't know what a situation like that they would want you to do, but I don't think I could leave the dog. Now, I realize that this person had an appointment that they had to attend, but even that, my little spidey senses are concerned about this strange passerby, whoever this is, that came across the phone in Willow, and this family member that went back. So I want to know, does anybody know the connection? If there's a connection, there's gotta be a connection. This family member has to know Nicola, has to know her. If this person says that they recognized her phone and they recognized Willow, then what is the relationship between those two? It's just odd. And then the fact that the police are absolutely ruling out an abduction. Why? I mean, what makes them, what's the evidence that they have that absolutely rules out abduction? I mean, sometimes police are wrong, right? I mean, you hope that police do their due diligence and that they know what they're talking about, but sometimes, I mean, we see in true crime that that's not always the case. Sometimes they're mistaken. So I feel like in this particular situation, Michelle After Dark is really kind of, you know, I really think that she's closing the door to some possibilities. At least that door has to be cracked open a little bit to any situation. I don't know. I don't think it's a drowning. I don't think it's an accidental drowning. And I wasn't sure if Nicola was a swimmer, because then I thought, okay, well, you know what? Maybe if she's not a swimmer, yeah, you know, somebody could fall into a river and, you know, panic or something and drown. But then come to find out she's a swimmer. She can swim. So, you know, it would have to come down to her having an injury and being knocked out, which is possible. That's possible. But it would have to be so, I mean, what are the odds? What's the odds that you hit your head just the right way to knock yourself out going down while you're just standing there at the, I mean, again, possible, but is it probable? I don't know. So that's going to be probably my next reading, but let me know what you guys think, and I'm going to go inside and I'm going to take some, what did I buy? I bought some Mucinex. I didn't buy the name brand Mucinex because I can't afford $16.99 for a box of 12 tablets, but I bought the Walgreens brand Mucinex, so I'm going to take that. And then I bought one of these little, they had these individual, these are like liquid IVs. So I bought one of those. They had them at the counter. My oldest son, he loves these things, so he buys the boxes of them. But I looked at them. I don't like the flavor. I think it tastes like shit, to be honest with you. I don't like it at all. But I haven't been drinking a lot of water lately, and I feel like I'm a little bit dehydrated. I've been drinking tea, though. But they had single packs at the checkout for $2.49. So I thought, well, what the hell? I'll just give myself one liquid IV, and then I'm gonna take my Walgreens brand Mucinex, and I bought some Vicks brand throat spray because my throat is just raw. And I'm just going to rest for the rest of the day. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to catch up on YouTube videos. I haven't been, because of my sister visiting, I haven't watched anything on YouTube. So I'm going to scroll around online and see what I can watch on Nicola's case and see what other people are saying, because I don't know what anybody else is saying. But yeah, so let me know, guys, and I will see you in a couple of days. All right, bye.